Well, it's Tuesday Wrestling, so you know what that means. It means we get to review AEW Dark and what happened in the fallout from Impact Wrestling's Sacrifice. So we're going to review, discuss, and talk about on this episode of Deleted Wrestle Zone.
Are you ready? Get up, get up! 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 Get up, get up!
Welcome everybody to Deleted Wrestle Zone. All things that is pro wrestling from AEW, NXT, New Japan Pro Wrestling, Impact Wrestling, the National Wrestling Alliance, various promotions, wrestlers, matches, and championships. I'm your host, J Rod here. So let's begin with AEW Dark. As you know, we just came out from doing the other Dark episode called Elevation. So they had a very interesting 15-pack matches, stack matches they had. First match, we have Caesar Bononi along with Peter Avalon against Luchasaurus. Now, this comes around the time when we saw what happened after Marco Stunt lost to QT Marshall. And of course, we saw Bononi, Avalon, and Meneth actually attack him. Luchasaurus came to the rescue, so this was more of a payback match. Now, I was really excited to see this because you saw two big, huge dudes go at it. But of course, Luchasaurus told Marco Stunt to go in the back that he got this, and he did, even though Avalon was right there watching. So it didn't stop him, but it did allow him to win his match. So it was really interesting. So I don't know if the feud between Jurassic Express along with Avalon and his entourage is far from over. Next match. Now I mentioned this person before, as you now know, she's now officially with AEW. Layla Hirsch taking on Samantha Evans. Now this was a very impressive match. If you guys saw it, Samantha Evans is a big, huge person. I'm much taller and bigger than Layla Hirsch, but I have to say her ability, more like the old school style of wrestling, paid off to win her match. And I love it how she was able to win her match by submission, doing the armbar against Samantha Evans. And as soon as the match was over in her favor, she got in the face of Vicky Guerrero. So I don't know if this is going to be a feud between her and Nyla Rose and Vicky. So this is going to be something interesting to see, but we'll see where they're going to go from that. Next match, we got Dark Order member John Silver, along with facing off against John Skyler. As you know, John Silver was very impressive, very athletic, very muscular, but it was a good match. So John Silver won his match. Next match, we have another women's match. We have Tesha Price versus Penelope Ford. I have to say there were some impressive moves by Tesha Price, but however, you cannot deny the ability of Penelope Ford. I know that there's those that would like to see her more on Dynamite, but we can't wait to see that. But however, Penelope Ford won her match. Next up, we got Chaos Project. Luther and Serpentico taking on Fuego del Sol and Jake St. Patrick. As you know, we know that the Chaos Project is an odd team, but however, they get things done, and of course, they actually put it off when they Serpentico applied this finisher move to what's his name, Fuego del Sol. So it was a pretty interesting match. Not the best, but interesting. Then we got Kaylee King taking on Jasmine Allure. Kaylee King continues to develop more as we see her. Jasmine Allure, we've seen her a little more, but it's great to see she's in it. But Kylie King wins her match really amazingly. Then we got an 8-man tag team match. We got the Dark Order, Evil Uno, Stu Grayson, 5, and Colt Cabana taking on Angel Fashion, Barry Black, Very Morales, and Rising. Now, there were some great spots in this one. There was a moment where they were tagging each other on like a counterclockwise. Like you got Stu tag, Uno's tag, going back and attack, then another chop. And then there was another moment where they're all four went to four sides of the ring. Instead of like jumping on Vera Morales, they pull out the Dark Order. So that was some good spots. But however, the ending was ended. The match ended in the favor of Dark Order when Cole Cabana applied the submission on Baron Block. So they won the match. Then we got the Gun Club in a six-man tag team match against Billy Austin and Colton, taking on David Ali, Adam Pearce, and Seth Gargis. Now, the opposing team attacked the Gun Club. You didn't see Billy taking off his sweater or Colton his shirt. It was basically a very rushed match, but however, it did help Gun Club to win the match, really quickly as possible. So they won the match. Then we got Bear Country, who continues to impress me, taking on Dean Alexander and Brick Aldridge. Now, as you know, they were mentioned in the commentary, they are going to be in a 10-man tag team match with Jurassic Express. I don't know how that's going to be, but it's going to be interesting. But of course, Bear Country continues to impress me with their abilities as really a dominant team that, I really love to see more of them on AEW. So they won their match. Then we got Nick Camarado along with QT Marshall taking on D3. Now, once again, we still don't know what is going on with QT Marshall, but however, we cannot deny the ability of Nick Camarado, a big monster who knows he can get the job done, but that's what he did. So that story with QT is still up in the air. We don't know what is going on. Next up, we got the Varsity Blondes taking on Jarrell Nelson and Royce Isaacs. I have to say I did like this one with the Varsity Blondes. They did a pretty good job, even though Royce Isaacs a name that I've seen many times over. But however, the match ended in Varsity Blondes' favor. Now we got Maddie Rinkowski and Vertex Vixen. If you guys must know, these two women are trained by none other than Thunder Rosa. Of course, many of Thunder Rosa's girls that she trained have been appearing at AEW for quite some time. I have to say, a pretty good match. I have to say, I have seen a little bit of Maddie Rinkowski's development, how she has improved a little bit. I'm not sure if she's one of those girls that could be signed with AEW, but you may never know, or she'll be picked up by AEW. That depends on who's paying attention to her. So we'll see where that goes, but it did allow her to win her match. Next up, we got a tag team match. Carly Bravo, Aaron Solo taking on SU's Daniels and Kazarian. Once again, SU continues to show us that's why they are who they are. They are one of the best tag teams, and we know that one day they could challenge for the AEW World Tag Team titles. It's only a matter of when this is going to happen, but we'll see what happened. But it did allow them to win their match. Now we get to another tag team. This is a semi-final match. Team Taz, Ricky Starks, Brian Cage taking on Sonny Kiss and Joey Janela. This is one of those tough matches where these two teams, we know Team Taz what they're capable of. We've seen Joey Janela and Sonny Kiss. They had their ups and downs. But however, they were nowhere near close to defeating Team Taz, and they lost the match. But however, Team Taz won the victory. So I don't know if they're going to continue the momentum after this loss, but we'll see what happens. Now we get to the main event, which is Jack Evans versus Dark Order member 10. Now, this is a payback match after what Jack Evans did to 10 in that qualifier match for the Face of the Revolution ladder match. So it was a very hard-hitting match, but I think the biggest shock was we saw 10 bleeding from the lip. Now, I saw this on Sammy's vlog where, without the mask, he has stitches on his lip. It was like, whoa, that is insane. I don't know what happened. It was like, what? They couldn't tell, was it coming from his nose or somewhere. But luckily, it did show that it was on the lip. But he did win his match. Really amazing. I have to say, this is one of those matches that build up the good story where 10 gets his payback against Jack Evans. Now, I don't know if these guys are still in league with Matt Hardy because Matt Hardy wants to destroy the Dark Order, but we'll see when that happens. So let's move on with Impact Wrestling right now. Okay, so we're in the fallout after Impact Wrestling put out this past Saturday's pay per view, Sacrifice. I have to say it was a good pay per view, even though we made history seeing the unification of both the Impact Wrestling title and the TNA World title. But however, the fun doesn't stop there. As we know, you guys know, we got brand new Impact Wrestling World Tag Team Champions. We're talking about Finn Juice Robinson, and David Finlay. They were set to be in a match against Triple XL. Now, Triple XL have been trying to get on the title hunt for the tag team titles. So this is one of those matches where can they pull it off? I'm not sure. But however, they actually did. They Finn Juice were able to defeat Triple XL despite the fact that they're huge dudes. And of course, they won their match. But however, that doesn't end there. As you know, the previous champions do have a right for a rematch clause, but there's a problem. Finjuice were set to go back to Japan and they'd probably take the titles with them. But however, this is something that Good Buzz will not tolerate, but they want their tag team titles. But the possibility that they could have the rematch could take place in Rebellion. But we'll get to that in a bit. Now, as you know, recently Sammy Callahan has been berating Trey Miguel, saying he has no passion, no love for the business because he still criticizes him for quitting Impact Wrestling, but that wasn't true. The problem is we didn't know what was going to happen. We were well aware what happened to his former team, but however, this feud is getting farther and farther into okay. Is he trying to make him crazy like Eddie Edwards? I don't know, but we'll wait and see. Now, back in the Moore's office, of course, the Moore is well aware the situation regarding the tag team titles. He knows that there's nothing he can do, but apparently he is embarrassed knowing that the Good Brothers lost the tag team titles to a team all the way from Japan. I'm talking about New Japan Pro Wrestling. So, but he did guarantee them they will get the rematch at Rebellion, so get ready and all that. So he realized they got themselves in a big sticky situation. But however, he's not the only one who got concerned. So was Tommy Dreamer. But however, Tommy Dreamer has announced that he has the card for the next pay per view, Hard Hardcore Justice. I don't know who's in it, but I'm kind of interested to find out once the card has been built up. Now we all know what happened this past Saturday in Sacrifice. Violent by Design gained a new member. That person was Rhino. Of course, he's being accompanied by the members of Violent by Design, EY, Diener, and Joe Dorian, facing off against Jake Something. Jake has Sabin and Storm, but however, nothing was able to stop them, even though there was distractions everywhere. Jake Something seems like he was solid to go on his own, but however, Eric Young's coordination has always been the key thing that was able to put them together. But it did allow for Rhino to pick up the victory, and they did left a bit of carnage as soon as the whole thing. And Eric Young continues with, "The world doesn't belong to us; it belongs to them." So, but we're still waiting to see what's going to happen. We're expecting Heath to come back because we know this is going to be a very interesting story. What's going to happen to Heath? There's no way he's going to join Violent by Design. Now, since this past Saturday in Sacrifice, the more talked to both Tennille Dashwood and Caleb and Alicia about a 12 women tag team match, 6 women versus 6 women. It's still unclear who was in it. So here's one team that's already been. They were having a little pep talk even though they can't agree on nothing. Tennille Dashwood, Tasha Steeles, Kiera Hogan, Deanna Purrazzo, Kimberly, and Susan. But however, it's more like they cannot agree on anything. But I thought it was real funny, even though Tennille Dashwood was going to use a quote to rally the troops, but it did not happen in that fashion. Now, Rohit Raju is out, set up for another match, this time against Shera. As you know, Shera said to him he doesn't owe him nothing, so basically, this has become a feud between two former friends or teammates, however you want to see it. But somehow, in this matter, Shera seems like he had everything under his control, but however, Rohit Raju outsmarted him by using leverage on the ring ropes to ensure he picked up the victory. And I don't think Shera liked that. Not sure if this little situation between them is going to go on. So we'll see what happens. Now we know what happened this past Saturday with the winning of the unification of both the TNA and the Impact World title. Rich Swann was in the back just chilling. Here comes Willie Mack saying they should go out and party and celebrate. But however, he went to the ring to address everything that just came around. He did come out to say that he did it, that all the years he struggled, that he picked up 2 titles, and which is good. But however, the whole thing shifted. Looks like he is interested in getting his hands on Kenny. So as soon as he realized he mentions Kenny's name, here comes the invisible hand once again, congratulating him on his win. But however, he did tell him the story how he used to be his guy, the guy that was the guy he was going to support until Kenny came back to his life. But he did state it in the warning that history has already been written, indicating that sooner or later, Rich Swann will lose the match at Rebellion against Kenny. I'm not sure exactly if that. I think I have to say I like the idea how he's playing this little psychology into his head, but we'll see what happens. Now, as you know, Eddie Edwards and Cardona were just minding their own business, and Myers, once again with his little problem. He believes that Impact Wrestling is his company, that he was going to shine there. But Cardona is trying to understand what's his problem. The thing is this, Miles Myers doesn't want to team with him or anything. He feels like Cardona is trying to steal his thunder. So basically, it's like that. That he thinks that every opportunity is going to be there for him and all that. He'll stop at nothing to get it. But Cardona, I don't know if he got the message or trying to understand what is your problem. Like, does he really believe that? I don't know. Now we get to the 12 women tag team match, 6 women versus 6 women. The first team is, of course, Tennille, Kira, Tasha, Susan, Kimber, and Diana taking on Havoc, Nevea, ODB, Alicia, Jazz, and Jordan. Like, there's been countless moments where the ref lost control. Basically, it's kind of like who's the official, the legal person. That kind of fits, but however, the match ended perfectly with Jazz winning the match when I think she pinned Kimberly. I'm not sure, but it did end in fair. But however, like the other team, they actually imploded. Basically, Susan got in the face of both Tasha and Kara Hogan, but it was bound to happen. So, however, Havoc, Nevaeh, Alicia, ODB, um, was Jazz, and Jordan won their match. Now we get to the backstage interview for, of course, Ace Austin, who is happy he's now the new X Division champion, or should I say the 2-time X Division champion. However, he should have known sooner or later that his target there were targets on his back, and I'm talking about, of course, we got Chris Bay, Josh Alexander, but the one person he should know better, TJP, who we all know he does have a right for to cash in on his rematch clause. So he set it up for next week, and anything could happen following next week. Now we get to the match with the main event: Sami Callihan versus Trey Miguel. This was a good match because it tells a story of how Sammy has been targeting Trey Miguel, saying he had no compassion, no heart, no feel, because he believes that he was a quitter for leaving Impact. But, we know the kind of person Trey Miguel is. He is one of the best athletic individuals in the business. But Sammy doesn't think in that way, so he wants to prove that he's a faker, that he's a liar, all of that. But it was a good match. I have to say it was. It did play out the story well. But however, Trey Miguel came up short. He lost to Sammy in a pile driver. I wouldn't be surprised that if Callahan decides to braid him one last time again this coming Tuesday. I'm like, that's possibly my prediction, but we'll see what happens in the following week. So I think that's it for now for Tuesday Wrestling. So stay tuned for more Japanese wrestling reviews that I'm going to be doing. And then, of course, I got the ones in at War. As you know, I'm not going to stop until we finally have Impact and NXT change channels and all that. But we'll see what we're going to do with that. But for now, I'll see you guys on the next DWZ time on this DWZ channel. So I'll bid you guys adieu. So goodbye. Mwah. And have a nice day. Bang.